Yesterday, I sat down with sisters Stacy and Tracy, who say their mom, Gail, spent over $242,000 on an online love and neglected her own well-being in the process. Now, before we investigated Gail's current boyfriend of 4 years, Matt Hurley, we took a closer look into her past online relationships. Two men named Fallon Galvin and Mark Sinclair. Now, Gail accepted that she had been scammed by her virtual ex-boyfriends, but was still convinced Matt Hurley was an honest, caring, and Christian man, and wanted my help getting him from Nigeria to Los Angeles for her happily ever after.
4 years ago, I introduced my mom to online dating. She received an email from a guy named Fallon Gavin. I immediately knew it was a scam. After this falling out with Fallon, she started talking to a new guy named Matt Hurley. Mom has fallen for Matt. Just when I thought nothing could get any worse, she was getting messages from someone posing as Vin Diesel, who went by the name Mark Sinclair, which is actually his legal name. Mom has sent almost $250,000 to these scammers. They have ruined her financially, and she's broke.
Would you have ever thought in a million years your mother would squander a lifetime of hard work?
I can't believe it.
Well, Stacy says her 68-year-old mom, Gail, is blinded by love.
I do find him sexy. Unfortunately, he's stuck in Nigeria. My daughters don't think he's real and think he's just a scammer.
Now, I do have priorities, and my number one priority is you.
Yes.
I want you to be safe, you to be happy. Now, Gail has another concerned daughter, Tracy, who says her mother's online boyfriends have really torn their family apart.
Last year, I applied to become my mom's Social Security payee. She told me that I just needed to stop it, that I was ruining our relationship.
She really didn't send him $170,000. We added it up for a grand total of $230,000.
Oh my God.
Let's move on to her current boyfriend, Matt Hurley. He worked in Zulia, Venezuela. Duties unknown, company unknown, college unknown, parents unknown. Awful lot of unknowns about this guy. And you've been knowing him how long?
4 years. So I'm just not a person who gets into other people's business.
Let me just ask the audience, based on what you know so far, how many of you are really buying this Matt Hurley guy? Thumbs down on Matt Hurley? You're not believing him?
No.
Well, here's a text from Matt to Gail concerning me. Matt says, have I ever done something without telling you? And they're talking about coming here. And Matt, you want to embarrass me. I don't want anything from Phil. He's not us and knows nothing about us. You either choose Phil or me. Don't go to any Phil. If you go, I'll move on and stop talking to you. In the middle of all of this, you meet another guy named Mark Sinclair, who looks a whole lot like Vin Diesel, right?
Mm-hmm. He does.
That he's being held captive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who captured him? I mean, wouldn't you think he would fastly and furiously get away from there?
Well, you would think, wouldn't you, with him being Vin Diesel?
But Mark says, yes, still a captive, Gail. Can't you get me a vanilla card so I can come to the States and get everything sorted out with the package, and also you and Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does Mark Sinclair know about Matt Hurley?
I told him.
So you've been talking to one boyfriend, one guy about another guy.
When he contacted me to be a request for a friend, I told him I was already in a relationship.
You said,
so
Mark, I have no money. The IRS is after me now. I forgot to pay my taxes, I guess, because I had no money to pay them with. Mark said, blank damn.
Yeah.
Well, we reached out to Vin Diesel's publicist, who said Vin was unable to participate today, but confirmed that celebrities being impersonated is unfortunately very popular. And I can tell you, you see clickbait all the time of Robin and I, our identities being stolen and being impersonated. But
Well, I told him, I said, I don't believe that you're Vin Diesel, because why would someone like you contact a little old person like me?
for money,
For no,
you want money, a vanilla card. That's a certain kind of card that you can kind of spend on anything, right? It's,
I guess.
yeah. Well, I think you'd know about it.
I've seen them. I've seen a vanilla card on the rack at the store.
But don't you think if somebody like really high profile got captured that you might have read about it somewhere or something? You think if somebody captured me, it might make the news?
You, yes. Yes, I believe that you would make the news.
Well, Vin and I are fellow bald-headeds. You'd think you'd think that would make, I don't know, the news, at least TMZ or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the biggest movie stars in the world's been captured, being held by somebody somewhere. Matt says, and he's saying it in all caps, just do as I say. Now, this is the loving, caring Christian man that you can't wait to give a big hug and maybe even a kiss on the cheek.
My mom retired 5 years ago.
Mom had saved her money. She had worked all her life, had a good retirement, and she planned on taking trips.
After mom met all these scammers, all her dreams have been shattered.
My plans changed. Yeah. Hopefully, when Matt gets here, maybe I'll get to do all that traveling.
I am shocked that my mom is so naive and stupid and falling for this.
Well, sisters Stacy and Tracy say despite their efforts to intervene, their mom Gail continues to get scammed online. Gail says after 4 years, she would know if her online boyfriend, Matt Hurley, wasn't the loving and caring man she fell in love with because his true colors would show. I mean, come on, after 4 years? According to Gail, Matt Hurley is an honest and Christian man. He's very loving. He's very sensitive. Well, let's see how truthful he is. You say that you spent 4 years in a relationship. Looked and you don't really know very much about him. Let me tell you, from a man's perspective, let me just speak as a man.
Okay.
I've been with the same woman for almost 50 years, so I'm not big on the dating scene, I admit.
You're very lucky.
But we've been married, 44 years and been together almost 50. And I can tell you that, I can tell you from a man's perspective on the woman you loved. I mean, if I was somewhere and I was hungry or needed a new shirt or whatever, and I knew that my woman was struggling to make ends meet, the last thing I would do would be ask her to finance me. I would be financing her, or we would be fighting this together, but I wouldn't be asking her to put herself further in the ditch. I'd be concerned about her well-being. I wouldn't be taking from her. I would be giving to her. If you love somebody, you give to them. You don't take from them.
Yes, I know that.
And I say that because I think this graphically shows something about values here. Gail, I have no money to give to Bitcoin. Matt says, listen to me. This is different from going to Bitcoin ATM. Just do as I say. I want to know what the Cash App's going to tell you when you try to purchase Bitcoin. Gail, I can't do that right now. You said, I don't have any money. I don't know what the app says. I don't have any money. And look look what he's saying, and he's saying it in all caps. Just do as I say. Don't tell me that you have no money. Just do what I told you. Now, this is the loving, caring Christian man that you can't wait to give a big hug and maybe even a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
Does that sound very loving?
No.
Now, he needs this money to get to America, right? He needs to get to you.
Yes. That's what he's telling me.
Now, in 4 years, he hadn't been able to get here. So he's either really unlucky or extremely an incompetent traveler. And he's given reasons for not getting here. He says he's stuck overseas. He had his money stolen. He's locked out of his banking accounts. And he needed to fix an oil rig. That's why I went to Nigeria to begin with, right?
Yes, to buy materials to fix the rig.
To bring back to where?
Ship back to the rig off of the coast of Zulia, Venezuela. Mm-hmm.
So he's going to fly from Venezuela to Nigeria to get some parts and take them back. But then he got to Nigeria and he got the parts, but then he didn't have the money to get back to Venezuela?
He told me that it cost him from Venezuela to Nigeria, a plane ticket was $8,000. I think it was over $8,000.
Uh-huh.
And then when he went in and inspected the materials and got them shipped back to the rig, it took all the money that he had on him.
Okay, so the parts got back, but he didn't.
Right.
Gail wanted my help bringing her current boyfriend, Matt Hurley, to the U.S. So I sent one of my global investigators to Nigeria to meet up with him and see if we could make some plans to get him to the airport, get him on a flight, and get him here. So I've got boots on the ground in Nigeria. We're going to talk to them right after the break.
We know Gail has had an online relationship with a man named Matt Hurley, who says he's been staying in this city for 2 years. Now, if this man has been living in a hotel, someone would have seen him. We are going to investigate.
Gail says her boyfriend of 4 years, Matt Hurley, is stuck in Nigeria and can't afford a plane ticket to the United States. She says for the past 2 years, he has been staying in room 400 at a specific hotel in Warri, Delta State, Nigeria. We sent a staffer there in hopes to locate Matt Hurley so we could bring him home. I wanted to put him in a chair right next to you. So what did we find out?
Dr. Phil, I'm here in Africa, in the city of Warri, Nigeria. We know Gail has had an online relationship with a man named Matt Hurley, who says he's been staying in this city for 2 years. We are going to investigate. This is the hotel where Gail's online boyfriend, Matt, says he's been staying. Let's see what we can find out. Have you seen this man before?
I haven't seen this face at all. I do my car hire service in hotel since 2011. If this person has been staying in the hotel for 2 years, how come within these 2 years I've not gotten in contact with him?
Says he stays in room 400.
There is nothing like room 400. Their room starts from 401.
I spoke to the manager. He has spent 10 years at the hotel and he has never seen or heard about Matt Hurley before. Now, if this man has been living in a hotel in this area of Warri, someone would have seen him. Have you been to the hotel before?
Yes, that's where I work.
At the hotel, you've not seen this man before?
No, never.
No, I don't know who this is. I do business right across the hotel. For 10 years, I've never seen a face like that.
There are only 2 possible hotels in Warri.
We wanted to make sure we were thorough in our investigation. We spoke to the manager here, and she said they don't even have a room 400. In fact, this hotel is less than a year old. Dr. Phil, after an extensive search here in Warri, Nigeria, not one person recognized the man in our photos. In fact, Both managers of the hotel have been looking into the photocopied ID cards in their customer archives. No one has seen this man in Warri, and no one recognized his name.
What do you make of that?
Well, I guess I just went through another scam.
Well, he says he's been locked out of his bank account, but he's been staying at this hotel for 2 years. Now, the average room at either of these hotels, now one of them hadn't even been there for 2 years, so I assume it's not that one. I assume it's the other one. The cost of just an average room there is $182.
I knew it was expensive.
Yeah. Now, if he stayed there for 2 years, his hotel bill just for the room, no food or anything, just for the room would be $132,860. Now, if he's locked out of his bank account, how has he paid a $132,000 hotel bill? Now, contrast that to what it would cost to fly from Nigeria to the U.S. Because a one-way flight from Lagos to LAX is $679.73. And if you went to Kansas, it would be $806.11. So he could have saved $124,000 if he just came here and stayed with you.
Yeah.
Now, if he's not in Nigeria, where is Matt Hurley? Well, we did find the man in the photos. You guys found the man in the photos. And we've arranged for Gail to speak with him herself after the break. My team was able to track him down. So joining us now from Caracas, Venezuela, say hello. Let me, Gail, ask you, how does it feel to see Matt Hurley?
The possibilities when Matt gets here, it's just going to be a new and exciting time.
My mom thinks they're just gonna ride off into the sunset together.
When we were coming to Dr. Phil, she turned around to me and asked me, when we meet Matt, how are you going to treat him? And I told her, I don't think he's real.
I'm looking forward to when he makes it back to the States. We can prove to my daughters that he is real.
Matt Hurley does not exist. He's a scammer trying to get what he can.
Now, Tracy, Stacy, you guys have been very patiently listening to me present evidence and data. We sent a man to Warri, Nigeria. We went to the hotels. We talked to people that work there and talked to the managers. We've done a lot of digging and stuff. Do you think that we've left a stone unturned?
No.
Tracy?
No.
How do you explain this?
I don't even know what to say about all of this. I'm just like, I don't know how anybody can do this.
Well, you're frustrated with your
I'm
mother.
frustrated. I'm sick to my stomach. I'm overwhelmed and I'm at my wits with it. Like, I've told her from the get-go, these are scammers, stop talking to them. Mm-hmm. And she's stubborn. She's going to do what she wants to do. And this is what's happened.
Well, let's talk to the man that we've been looking at the picture of, the man that she knows as Matt Hurley through pictures. Stacy and her sister Tracy say they did a Google image search and discovered the man behind the photos of Matt Hurley and found out he was a motivational speaker in Venezuela. Now, after doing our own investigation, we confirmed that Stacy and Tracy were in fact correct, and my team was able to track him down. So joining us now from Caracas, Venezuela, with over 1.2 million social media followers, is international motivational speaker, very well known, very accomplished, Carlos Fraga. Say hello. Carlos, how are you?
Hello. Un placer saludarlo, Dr. Fields.
It's a pleasure to say hello to you, Dr. Phil.
And we have here a translator to help simultaneously interpret our conversation. So I'd like to introduce you to Blas Kissick, who has 20 years experience as an interpreter and will be alternating between Spanish and English. So thank you both for being here. So Blas, ask Carlos if he knows Gail in any way, if he's ever had any contact with her, has ever intersected with her in his life at all.
Carlos, ¿alguna vez has conocido a Gail? ¿Has tenido algún tipo de contacto o tu vida se ha cruzado con ella de alguna manera en la historia?
No, jamás. No la había visto nunca.
No, never. I've never seen her before.
And Carlos, where do you live now and where were you born?
Carlos, ¿dónde naciste y dónde vives ahora?
Nací en New York y he vivido toda la vida en Venezuela, en Caracas, Venezuela.
I was born in New York and I've lived all my life in Caracas, Venezuela.
And let me, Gail, ask you, how does it feel to see Matt Hurley, the man, as you know, Matt Hurley, actually in the real live talking in real time here?
Well, I did know about this motivational speaker. I did know about him. But, you know, I guess Stacy asked me the other day, or someone asked me the other day about him. And I said, well, why can't he have two careers? You know, I don't know at what point in Matt's life he went to college. How did I know that he wasn't a motivational speaker for a few years and then went and got his engineer degree? I don't know. But anyway, yes, that looks like the person that I've been supposedly talking to.
You hear what he's saying, correct?
I do.
Do you believe him?
Well, I guess.
What do you mean you guess? So, Carlos, have you ever traveled to Nigeria?
Carlos, ¿alguna vez has viajado a Nigeria?
Nunca, jamás.
Never.
You don't have two careers. You don't work as a motivational speaker by night and an engineer by day.
Tú no trabajas tal vez como orador motivacional de día y eres ingeniero de noche, ¿verdad?
No.
Okay. Can you confirm that this is you in this picture with these dogs? Because this is her favorite picture.
Soy yo, sin duda alguna soy yo.
No doubt, it is me.
What are your dogs' names?
Dime los nombres de tus perros.
Ella, la blanca, se llama Emily y el marrón se llama Dimitri.
The white one is called Emily and the brown one is Dimitri.
You hear what he's saying, correct?
I do.
Do you believe him?
Well, I guess.
What do you mean you guess? We did a very deep dive. This man is not just somebody that we haven't checked the background on. He is internationally renowned as a motivational speaker. He is known the world over. He's written 6 books.
Has escrito 6 libros, ¿verdad?
6 libros y 13 audiolibros.
Okay.
6 books and 13 audiobooks.
6 books and 13 audiobooks. We didn't just find some guy that kind of looked like him. And I mean, he said that's his picture with his dogs. He just held one of the dogs up for you so you can see him.
Okay.
So what do you mean you guess? This is the man, right?
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. And now I know the truth.
Carlos, you are a motivational speaker that deals with human functioning, right?
Tú eres un orador motivacional que se dedica o se ocupa con funciones humanas, ¿correcto?
Sí, básicamente por el bienestar de la gente en organizaciones mundiales, etcétera.
Yes, mostly dealing with wellness with international organizations.
So, Carlos, what would you want to say to Gail, who thought she was in a relationship with you for 4 years when in fact she was not?
¿Qué le dirías tú, Carlos, a Gail, siendo que ella pensaba que estaba en una relación contigo por 4 años?
Y lo siento mucho, que hay que estar alerta, hay que estar más despierto porque hay demasiada estafa en el mundo de personas débiles y dormidas.
He says that he's very sorry and we have to be more aware and more vigilant because there are many people who are trying to fake people out.
Well, Carlos, I would like to thank you. As I say, Carlos Fragas is an international motivational speaker and author. Carlos, congratulations on all of your success. I'm so proud to talk to you. And Interpreter Blaskicic, thank you for your help in getting this message through. There's more to talk about here. How can a person be this pulled in to this kind of a scam and be blinded this much? And how does Gail move forward at this point? We'll talk about that when we come back.
Pearl Milling Company isn't new to this. We've been stacking pancakes
I feel like my mom has some attachment issues. She really doesn't like to be alone. I think to compensate for that, she kind of turned into a hoarder. Over the years, my mom's house kind of became a dumpster. You could barely move.
Stacy and I had enough, and we spent weeks and many hours sorting through things.
We took about 2 truckloads of trash to the dump from her house. When we were finished, her house was like spotless. My fear is that in a matter of time, she's going to hoard her house again, and all of our work would have been for nothing.
We look at your living room before, and this is a time when you just had completely pushed yourself off the radar screen and were focused completely on others. You guys said that from 2018 to 2020, Gail was living without heat, air conditioning, and running water, all to save money to send to somebody else.
Well, but I think that's where depression comes in.
Right. And you deserve better than you've been giving yourself. And if I get you some help with this, will you take it?
Well, I think I'm at a point now where I've got a fresh start, and I'm living. The house is staying clean. I used to be a good housekeeper.
Good.
But I think it was just when I fell into depression years ago.
If y'all feel like she needs some individual counseling, you let me know. And we'll arrange some help through Doctor on Demand for her. It's a company that we own, and we can arrange like some sessions individually for her. And we're in a pandemic, so we'll set up teletherapy so she doesn't have to go somewhere. And you let us know if you feel like she would benefit from that. Y'all three talk about it. If you decide.
I honestly think that she needs it.
Gail, I have a straight up question for you.
Yes.
Are you convinced that Matt Hurley is a scam?
Yes.
You just talked to the man that has been in the pictures. Your favorite picture was him in the black high neck shirt with the dogs. He just held the dog for you so you could see it was him. So do you have any doubt?
No.
And let me tell you, I take no pleasure in telling you this because I know to her, this is a real relationship, and to lose that is a loss. You know, you grieve the loss of someone you love, and she had invested a lot of emotion into this person, and to have that taken away, to understand that not only have you lost someone you love, but you've also been betrayed, is a double whammy. And I hate that for you. But the only thing worse than learning the truth is not learning it. You know, you're better off to know. And, you know, you need to ask yourself, and y'all, instead of being frustrated with your mother, there is an explanation for how people get caught up in this. Because you say, where's common sense? How could you be caught up in this? And there were huge red flags here, right? When you don't see somebody for 4 years, you know, what are the barriers to seeing red flags? Well, the first is confirmation bias. And that's a bias we have, that when we believe something and we want it to be true, then we start to turn a blind eye to anything that contradicts it. And we see only that evidence that confirms it. And in fact, if you bring evidence to the contrary, it oftentimes causes the person to just deepen their belief. They dig in even more when you show them evidence to the contrary. That's why I'm asking you, we've shown you evidence to the contrary. You've got to be strong enough and open enough to say, I get it. I'm overcoming my confirmation bias here. As much as I don't want it to be true, I've just talked to the man.
Yeah.
He's not a doppelganger. This is not somebody that just looks like him. He had the dogs. He was there. That's the man.
Mm-hmm.
And you get that, right?
I get it.
The other reason people don't see it is perceptual defense. It hurts to hear the truth. And so our mind will shield things that cause us emotional pain. So it's real possible that she just overlooks red flags and doesn't see them because they're too painful, because she's in love with being in love. It feels so good to be in this relationship. And then the third is just functional blindness, where you are so in love with being in love that you just choose to not see. Closed captioning provided by I'm back with Stacy and Gail. Tracy is joining us virtually. And look, I said, I know this is not easy to hear. And, you know, I take no pleasure in being the one to tell you this, because I know it's painful. But it's time to realize that you have people around you that love you. And it's time to realize that you need to close ranks with those people and not pull back, but step up and commit to your own emotional health and your own emotional growth. As we learned today, it's important to fact check when communicating with someone online, especially if you're being asked to send money. Here today to help make that easier is founder of socialcatfish.com. This is David McClellan. David, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Man, are you needed. I mean, you talk about timely and needed. Talk about your site and what it does.
Yeah, so essentially we're a people search website. So we help people find and verify other people online, but we focus on online safety. So a lot of people that come to us have been dating somebody online or been contacted, and they want to do their due diligence to make sure they're doing it in a safe way. And
so they can get on the site and they can provide pictures, information, data, phone, whatever. They can give all kind of information they have, and you guys run it through the system and see if that's who they say they are, if that's turned up 10 different places with 10 different names. You do a lot of scouring so people can find out real fast what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we built some technology to allow people to upload information. We collect images and details from scammer databases. So, people's images that are stolen all the time for these types of scams. And so you can run your information through there and then find out, if the information's been used somewhere else on the internet or if the person's telling the truth.
Right. Well, David and the Social Catfish team have an exclusive offer for my audience. socialcatfish.com/Dr. Phil for a 5-day free trial. And if you believe you've been a victim of an online internet scam, you can go to the FBI's special website, which is ic3.gov. Are you glad you came here today?
Yes, very much, very much.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all the help you've given us.
Okay, glad to hear it. All right, I want to thank all of my guests today, especially Carlos Fraga, motivational speaker from Caracas, Venezuela, David McClellan, founder of socialcatfish.com. If you at home want your own Doctor on Demand, go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and you can download the Doctor on Demand app.